Hello, Astro Action here. I want to talk about the much talked about Barbault's basket for 2026. If you're not familiar with it, in a nutshell, it is a extremely rare alignment of the three outer planets, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, which of course move very slowly across the sky around our solar system. And when they line up in a certain mathematical pattern, it's very rare that any two of them would, let alone three of those planets. And then there's the addition of Jupiter. So we're actually looking at four planets in a very large configuration across the sky. They're all lining up in what's called sextile, which is a 60 degrees, say from a one sign, skip a sign, and then go to the next sign. So there's kind of a nice gap between them. And they tend to be in harmonious elements in that sense. So these are all in fire and air. Okay, in astrology, there's only four elements. So the fire and air are combustible. They work together, you could say. Air feeds fire. You can think of it that way. Of course, and then you have water and earth are the other two. But this configuration of air and fire signs are all working with easy flow and harmony as they go through every other sign. That's going to be starting with Pluto in Aquarius here in sextile to Neptune in Aries, then in sextile to Uranus in Gemini here. Those are the three big outer planets beyond Saturn, extremely slow moving. So that's incredibly rare alignment, how they're working together in harmony. And then Jupiter's coming in, which is the fastest of these four. It takes about 12 years to go around the sky, so it's going to be in one sign for about a year, and that's Jupiter in Leo here. And so Jupiter in Leo completes this pattern, adding another fire sign to the mix. So you have Pluto sextile Neptune, Neptune sextile Uranus, Uranus sextile Jupiter. Incredibly rare flowing aspect. And it's the beginning of the sign, so it's all about sort of this entrance into a new era, and these various components all synchronizing together. As I said in my other short, I think I would rather call it the Great Synchronization. Now, what I want to get to today, hopefully a short video, is that much of popular astrology, TikTok scrolling type of astrology, is going to give you the rosy picture, right? Right off the bat. And astrology always has, every element, every symbol in astrology has a shadow side. It's a yin and yang going on, a light and a dark side going on. And what we tend to overlook with all this harmony and flow, sextiles and trines, you see in these red lines here that I've outlined the general patterns, is that there is one challenging aspect. It's the opposition between Pluto and Jupiter in Leo. And we have to look at this carefully. And the more I've observed what's been happening as this alignment's come right into exact mathematical precision, right into focus here at the beginning of August 2026. So there has been quite a few negative headlines. Yes, we could take a look at this as the convergence of technological innovations, revolution, AI, new possibilities for human beings and human identity, new light, even more increased flow of communication and ideas. That's kind of these first three: Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, and a lot of creative potential as Jupiter enters Leo, all this kind of thing. But the opposition between Pluto and Jupiter has brought on some very interesting things. First of all, I would point out, besides some of the fewer just basic news headlines of various, criminal activities and underworld activities, for example, what was found in stories that were found in Texas lately and California and stuff. Pluto rules those hidden forces in the underworld, but we want to think of Pluto in Aquarius as new powers in technology, but Aquarius is always the internet, technology, things like that, but it's very much that combination points to the sort of hackers in the underworld of the internet. And as Jupiter reaches opposition to it, also another powerful fixed sign, one of great daring and command and risk-taking, especially Jupiter in Leo, reached this peak moment. We had the biggest hack of cold card wallets in the Bitcoin space, right? $100 million or more, $130 million being stolen out of people's cold card wallets that were thought to be the most secure way to hold Bitcoin, for example. That's been one of the biggest things that's rattled the entire crypto community. You also have like the power struggle in terms of the trying to pass the Clarity Act. And interesting, it's just been a complete stalemate. They've decided they have to put it off until September. So this sort of this tension between this opposition of forces of will has definitely played out in terms of like really nothing manifesting from that. But the most interesting thing that's lit me up today is watching a video by Luke Mikic. That's LUKEMIKIC, I believe. Look up this video. It's called You Won't Believe what the EU is doing. It's about to do. And and these things have been building up for quite a while, but it's very much heating up. It's basically talking about what has been kind of called the control grid, that's being built with the AI surveillance and things like that, which has already been something that's really ramped up lately with all the cameras that have been taken down, all that kind of thing, flock cameras, this kind of thing. So again, we've got that theme of technology and surveillance, which is already basically Pluto and Aquarius, the dark side of that. But this opposition has been building up to form this basket pattern. And his report was about the EU's plan to do these insane taxations or capital grabs out of people's bank accounts, and that they've tried this. He shows these lists of how they've tried this over the years in many different countries around the world, and how it's caused all this capital flight, all these people trying to just leave the country because, and it was really interesting at the end of one of the pages, said that they've showed how they've tried this and failed over and over again, but this time their idea is to ramp it up by using AI surveillance and escape prevention, just lock everybody in and stuff like that. So that made me see the connection to the Barbault's basket again, and I think there's a lot of wisdom in these expressions in the human language, like the basket. What is a basket? Basket is a container, and a basket is a control grid, is it not? And there's this feeling I have of them kind of there's in this new world that we're entering into, there's this danger that they're kind of luring us into the good things, the sextiles, the ease of transforming and reframing, reimagining your own self-image. Neptune and Aries is the sign of the self. Neptune is the imagination, right? All the things you can do with AI to re-envision your identity, right, through the use of this powerful technology, Pluto and Aquarius, right? And the just this general facility in the technology generally, which is Uranus in Gemini, which just basically echoes the same technological themes as Pluto in Aquarius. Okay, I'm going to unpack some of these further in other videos, but you have the creative potential and entertainment and things like that of Jupiter and Leo. So you have all these things that entice everybody into this basket. And what defines a basket is the top of the basket, the limit, that where you want to contain and control things. You don't want anything to spill out of it, and that would be the top of the basket here. See the red line here between Jupiter and Pluto. See, so that would be the control grid, so to speak. The audacity and the daring and the commanding of the sign Leo, right? And the hopeful prospect of taking control of everything, right? That's part of the dark side of Leo. It's a very egoistic. It's connected to the sun, which is the central hub of the entire solar system, right? Controlling everything. So all that centrality, right? Rather than decentralization, which is what things like Bitcoin are all about, right? So you have that element of expanding Jupiter control Leo versus humanity and the new movements of humanity, which is the Pluto in Aquarius. Aquarius is humanity, right? Now these things tend to play out. The symbolism tends to manifest, in a variety of different ways. So, in one sense, Pluto in Aquarius is the technocracy taking control of humanity. And in another sense, it's humanity itself transforming from deep on the soul level and creating a revolution and claiming its freedom and establishing its new freedom. That's why, for me, Pluto in Aquarius is so emblematic of the idea of Bitcoin, of a decentralized money, of the people's money, right? Pluto is a financial planet. It's the ruler of one of the two financial signs, Taurus and Scorpio. It's the ruler of Scorpio. Those are the money signs. It's jointly held energy and power. So wherever we see Pluto, we see that financial archetype. But it's just entered the sign of humanity only like a year ago. It will be there for 20 years. For more on that, check out my video below that I did about 6 months ago, all about Pluto in Aquarius. But this opposition, the tension that it's created, and the dark side of the basket that it illuminates, the control grid that's trying to be imposed on humanity. It's very interesting. It reminds me of what I used to think of the internet generally. It was kind of like the Roach Motel, the old ads of the 1980s, where it says roaches come in, but they can't get out. And I think that trap, I think a lot of ways the internet generally has been that way, that everybody's like, yeah, come on in. This is great. This is amazing. This is fun. Let's all go into this thing. And we've all been kind of already trapped in that particular matrix. And this seems to be happening again with this pattern, that there's another sort of entrapment into a sort of web, a pattern. So that's something to look out for and to wake up to, and to study things like Bitcoin and decentralized networks, and why that's so empowering for humanity. So like, share, and subscribe, and look out for my Patreon page that you can go to, where I will take a lot more time to unpack each one of these archetypes.